KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Straight ahead on your primetime news, the Chamorro Land Trust Commission's Board of Directors discusses the questionable awarding of leases in Barrigada Heights. Plus, one man accused in the murder at DOC wants to strike a deal with the government, and the displays are finally in place. We're going to take you to a look inside the permanent exhibit downtown at the Guam Museum. Hafide and good evening, Guam. Thank you so much for watching tonight or streaming us live as the controversy over Chamorro Land Trust lots in Barrigada Heights has deepened. As that agency's board of directors met today, and instead of answers, we got more questions.
Chris Barnett reports.
Controversy continuing to circle the Chamorro Land Trust as word comes down. The Attorney General will conduct a review of leases awarded at the CLTC's prime Barrigada Heights property. Even Governor Eddie Calvo getting in on the action, calling for CLTC Chairwoman Pika Farron to revoke leases that, quote, deviated from procedure. At the CLTC board meeting today, Board Chair Farron saying land management employees involved in getting CLTC leases should have the process put before the board for transparency. Land Management Administrator Margarita Borja, whose daughter and first cousin got lots in Barrigada Heights, saying they've tried to call applicants, but, in her words, 80% of CLTC applicant contact information is not updated. But she had no trouble getting a hold of her sister, who was living off island. Borja facilitating a switch in line. Her sister, a 1995 applicant, switching places with her daughter Mariah, a 2016 applicant.
My sister lives, she's relocated off island. So, you know, she's not looking at coming back anytime soon. So she just said, hey, what if I do come back? How can I still be, how can I still get some properties? So that's why they switched it in time. My daughter is ready to pursue her, to go and build her home and stuff today. And she's unable to with the 2016 application. So with the 1995, her being in 1995, she decided to switch application dates so that my daughter is able to, build her home. Because if my sister, if that didn't happen, I'm sure nothing's going to happen. She'll probably, I'm not sure, if she's even going to get property because she doesn't live on island, or if she does, it'll eventually be terminated because there are conditions that she needs to meet.
The board questioning where in the rules and regulations does it state applicants can switch places in line. Legal counsel struggling to find exactly which part of the law allows that.
That's another thing that we'll look into, the AG will look into. Our rules and regs do not specifically state it, and as our legal counsel stated, it's an administrative practice.
Land Management Director Mike Borja burning up in the hot seat, admitting he signed off on a lot for his sister. She lives off island and he handles her affairs through a power of attorney, so Borja signed off on the lease twice, as the lessee and as the director. Agency employees and their immediate family members appearing to get the hookup, as thousands who have waited decades for their CLTC lots scratch their heads. Senator Frank Uggan calling attention to the paving of an access road leading to the lots, DPW clearing land without permits from EPA. After KUAM News' investigative reports blew the issue wide open, Uggan calling on Land Committee Chair Senator Tom Atta to hold an oversight hearing of the CLTC. Uggan saying the awarding of leases to DLM employees and their relatives brought this issue to the tipping point.
That adds fuel to the fire. So I think that there should be an oversight hearing? Absolutely.
Uggan saying there's a sense of urgency, but Senator Atta questioning Uggan's motives.
Sense of urgency because it's election year? You've got to prepare for it. So I'm not going to react to a news story and say, we're going to have an oversight hearing.
Farron saying the board will scrutinize every lease granted in the area, and Director Borja said he's asking employees to inform him of any immediate family relationships they have with people awarded leases in the area. Borja saying so far he's determined 8 immediate family members of land management employees have obtained properties, but it really boils down to how the CLTC will define exactly what immediate family means on Guam. The question also on people's minds, with the federal government suing the Chamorro Land Trust, will these allegations of impropriety give the feds more ammo for their lawsuit? We asked the board chair what she thought.
You know, as it's an ongoing litigation, I can't comment on that.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. In other island news headlines tonight, a second defendant in the prison murder case now wants to strike a deal with the government. Jeremiah Isizaki told that specifically to a judge in court today.
It was an emotional moment for him as he spoke to Judge Anita Sokola in the courtroom. KUAM's Nick Delgado joins us with the details. Nick.
Bree and Jason, emotional indeed. No cameras were there inside the courtroom to capture the moment, as it was only said to be a motion hearing for his attorney to withdraw from the case. But Jeremiah Isizaki was seen holding back tears as he said in open court he's willing to fully cooperate with the government. Your Honor, can I say something? That's what started off the strong plea by inmate Jeremiah Isizaki asking Judge Anita Sokola if he could strike a deal with the government. In a matter of minutes, he expressed, quote, "I want to fully cooperate with the government. Please, I'll tell the truth. I'm in fear of my life because I'm cooperating, but I'll tell the truth, please." Isizaki is one of several others charged in connection to last December's murder of detainee Edred Manson Isar that got near lockup. The deadly beating said to be a revenge attack on Isar. During a hearing for his attorney to withdraw, it was made clear that legal counsel would instead stay on the case. It's at that point Isizaki made his strong request. Throughout his plea, he held back tears, saying, quote, "I don't care about how I look. The only protection for me is on the street because I am a gang member and in a prison gang." Isizaki saying he just wants justice. He's since pleaded not guilty after being charged with solicitation to murder and conspiracy to commit murder. He would be the second of the defendants to cooperate. As we reported, Jimmy Hadley pleaded to misdemeanor assault and faces anywhere from 0 to 1 year in jail on the condition he fully cooperate with the government and testify against the others in the case. The judge also allowed Isizaki to give his wife a kiss and a hug before walking out of the courtroom. One of the final things he said before being taken back to DOC, "Your Honor, no disrespect, I just want justice to work. It's my life." He is set to return to court on May 7th. For now, it's up to the defense and prosecution to negotiate what happens next.
Thanks, Nick. The April 13th trial date for the defendants has since been vacated. No new date set just yet.
Well, $101,000 is the settlement amount both parties agreed to in the civil case against former Guam Police Department officer Mark Torrey Jr., who was convicted of negligent homicide for the 2015 shooting death of fellow officer Albert Piolo. The victim's family had initially requested more than $1 million in damages, and in court today, the judge approved the more than $100,000 settlement, noting Torrey is currently unemployed and has no further assets. Defense counsel anticipates having this case dismissed with prejudice early next week.
Derek Baza-Hills once again accused of impersonating a public officer. In this fourth incident, he allegedly scammed a tourist at Nimitz Beach in Agate out of $50. The tourist had just taken a picture when Hills approached the victim, said he was a cop, and told him it was illegal to take photos there and that he had to pay a fine. Earlier this week, Hills was arrested for 3 separate but similar incidents. Court documents state he used his dead father's uniform and badge as well. At first, he said he was being framed, then later confessed to the alleged scam. His bail is set at $1,000 cash. An arraignment hearing has been scheduled for the 9th.
Drugs, alcohol, bullying, and weapons were the hot topics of discussion at the DOE oversight hearing on Wednesday. Questions come after at least 13 incidents were reported of violent student conduct just this year. Superintendent of the agency, John Fernandez, presented an 8-page testimony on the different programs that DOE offers, reassuring senators that they do have protocol and programs in place to confront this behavior, but that it is a community issue.
And I know the question that was posed not because of what typically... This school year, about a dozen incidents were reported in the media, as you mentioned, Mr. Chair, regarding the discovery of bullets on campus, videos of student fights, videos of students who appear under the influence of drugs or alcohol, reports of assault or harassment, and so on. These incidents, I believe I can speak for everyone here, are disturbing to all of us as education officials, but also as members of the community because they reflect issues that affect our entire island.
Education Board Chairman Mark Mendiola added that parent involvement and funding are also critical components to combating violence in schools. But even then, he says, it's not 100%.
Despite the policies, procedures, and preparation of our school leaders and employees, We will not fully prevent issues arising on campus due to student or employee misconduct. To do so will really be unrealistic.
Senators like Michael Nicholas argued that leaders cannot ignore other community issues like the rising cost of living, he says contributes to less parent involvement.
United Airlines will resume operations for its Pet Safe program next month with some policy changes. Pet Safe is the carrier's program for cats and dogs that travel in the cargo compartment. The airline announcing they will work with a national organization, American Humane, that spent more than a century working to improve the safety, welfare, and well-being of animals. The review of the pet handling process and policies, including in-cabin pet travel, is ongoing. The airline giant has since extended the exception allowed for members of the military and others and their spouses, and State Department Foreign Service personnel and their spouses traveling with their pets out of Guam. You may remember the airline put the temporary suspension in place after several incidents on United's part, including the death of a small dog and 2 mix-ups that sent dogs to the wrong destination. You can view the upcoming policy changes on united.com/petsafe.
1, 2, 3.
The 30th Guam Micronesia Island Fair is now.
And with that historic moment, the Guam Micronesia Island Fair was officially declared underway with opening ceremonies held last night at the Paseo, with a parade of nations including the Republic of Palau, Chuk State, Kosrae, Pohnpei, the Sinamai, the Republic of the Marshall Islands, Yap State, and of course, our host island of Guam. The theme is We Are Micronesia, with the fair first starting 30 years prior from legislation introduced by the late Senator John KUAM. The fair runs through Sunday in Hagåtña.
To coincide with the 30th annual Guam Micronesia Island Fair, the ribbon was cut this morning for the permanent exhibit at the Antonio Palomo Guam Museum and Chamorro Educational Facility.
For Department of Chamorro Affairs President Johnny Sablan, Thursday's ribbon-cutting ceremony to signify the completion of the permanent exhibit was a long time coming.
It's your Guam Museum, folks. It also has an exhibition that strives to tell the story from the perspectives of the Chamorro people. This day has been in the making for close to 90 years, as the history of our Guam Museum goes as far back as 1932. So today in 2018, we gather in this iconic, beautiful building in the heart of the capital of Hagåtña.
According to Governor Eddie Calvo, this long-time effort is about educating future generations of Guamanians by teaching them about their history and their legacy.
The 21st century is going to be a lot of change. And so with that change, it's so important to know where we are, but where we come from. And that is why the importance, and whether it's a repository, whether it's a cultural celebration of our island and our island's neighbors, or a museum that will be able to teach not only those thousands of tourists about Guam, but also our school kids.
The family of the late Senator Antonio Palomo, for which the museum is named after, was in attendance at today's ribbon cutting. Simeon Palomo is the son of the late lawmaker.
It's very heartwarming, I think, especially since, this is the hard work of the Guam Museum staff through all the years. So everything that they've done for the last how many decades, it's going to show in today's exhibit opening. And especially, since my dad, Tony Palomo, was instrumental in a lot of the, things that the museum has done through the years. And, the families was there with him, supporting him. But now it's just today is a celebration of everyone that helped the Guam Museum finally reach this momentous occasion.
Simeon's father served 3 terms in the Guam legislature. He was a Guam history professor, journalist, author, survivor of the Japanese occupation of Guam, and ran the old Guam Museum for more than 1 decade. He is also the first person you will see when you walk through the doors of the exhibit, titled The Journey of the Chamorro People. The permanent exhibit officially opens to the public on Friday.
Now, we did receive a sneak peek of the permanent exhibit this morning with Galaiti Group President Cliff Guzman and Museum Director Dominica Tolentino. Make sure to check it out on our Facebook page, but also make sure to visit the exhibit in person. It is, trust me, well worth your time.
Definitely is. Stay tuned. We're back with more news after the break.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
In this divided world, there are still things that unite us. Great music, thrilling games, and the love for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam, for the love of burgers menu. For a limited time, get an amazing burger for just $11.99. Lunchtime at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Now you can choose your favorite Nissan rides and 30 flyaways on Philippine Airlines when you play Micronesia Mall's Your Best Choice giveaway. To play, present mall receipts to win a new Versa Note SR, the Crossover Rogue Sport SV, the Heritage Edition 370Z, or you can choose a tough Nissan truck. Plus, there are great instant prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker. Win more cars, trips, and prizes when you play Micronesia Mall's Your Best Choice giveaway.
This is pollock, and this is pollock, but they're totally different. One is pollock South Dakota, and the other is real wild-caught Alaska pollock from a certified sustainable fishery. And that's the pollock you'll find in the McDonald's Filet of Fish. So, no matter where you are, you can always get real fish caught sustainably from here. So let's review. This is that one place called pollock, this is real wild-caught Alaska pollock, and this is who can bring it all together, sourced from a sustainable fishery. And it's delicious.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
Welcome back. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio spoke before the Rotary Club Thursday, the latest among the gubernatorial candidates to appear before the business community. The main theme of this speech was education, and specifically a proposal he has floated before.
A key component of the Tenorio Ladder platform is our transformational vision for tuition-free college and trade school education. Every generation, Guam has had brilliant young men and women that wanted to go to college, but many of them could not realize their dreams.
At that time, the president of the student government...
Tenorio says it was because they didn't have the economic means to seek higher education. He says his goal is to help them prepare for higher paying jobs that will raise them from mediocrity or poverty, which they can only get through higher education.
One of the questions I often hear is, how are we going to pay for it? Can we afford this? Guam cannot not afford this. We must pay for these things. It is estimated that more than 80% of Guam's prison population have no post-secondary education. It costs over $43,000 a year for a person to stay in the Department of Corrections. Tuition-free college and skills training is the paradigm shift that will give our people who can't afford college the greatest chance to escape poverty, not resort to crime, and may help end generations of poverty within some families. It will reduce crime, consequently.
The other gubernatorial candidates will be given similar opportunities to speak before the Rotary throughout the month.
Trust me, everybody, you're going to want to pay attention to this story, because if you owe money for any traffic violations, then you might want to get that paid off, and right quick. The Judiciary of Guam is taking measures to enforce collection of unpaid traffic fines, and they're going for your tax refund. This comes after the Judicial Council recently adopted a resolution for enforcement, with officials saying notices of intent to garnish tax refunds were sent to those with outstanding traffic violations late last week. If you happen to be one of them, then you now have less than 60 days' time to avoid getting money pulled from your refund check. You can make payments online at guamcourts.org or call the Traffic Violations Bureau. Their number is 475-3166. That's 475-3166.
Google comes to Guam, flying all the way from San Francisco. Google representatives came to award one of the finalists in the Google for Doodle competition. Stephen Magno was chosen by a group of celebrities as Guam's pick. He is one of 52 finalists out of over 200,000 submissions. Stephen not only loves to draw, but he was inspired by his dog.
I do this because I like animals.
This is the second year in a row the Guam Google Doodle finalist is from Upi Elementary in Jigo. To get him to the top 5 starting Monday, you can vote for him online at doodles.googles.com.
That is awesome. Also from education on a higher level, Mais Vida, a UOG film student-led production, is premiering tomorrow at the home of the Tritons. The film follows the story of a jiu-jitsu competitor trying to make sense of life after an event changes him forever. John Jackson says it's a film worth watching.
You know how everyone's passionate about something, and then something happens along the line and you start questioning it and stuff, and you debate canceling it or finding a new passion. But then eventually, you meet someone, and they bring you back to that passion, let you know why you wanted to do it in the first place.
Students say the film makes strong societal connections, talking about depression that will affect about 66% of teens. Depression that can lead to self-harming behavior. It's an important piece of art, and you can watch the film tomorrow. It will be at the UOG Lecture Hall, of course, in Mingilau, and that's at 3 in the afternoon.
Now to some welcoming news. A Guam Air National Guard airman recently returned home after being deployed to Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates. Captain Patrick Sanchez was greeted at the airport Monday. He is with the 254th Force Support Squadron, and his deployment was in support of Operation Freedom Sentinel. While there, his unit was tasked with ensuring the readiness of the Air Force units within the U.S. Central Command Theater of Operations in order to ensure mission success. Captain Sanchez is the second of 2 airmen to return from a deployment. Welcome home.
And the first airman was my former volleyball coach, so welcome home to Sergeant Dexter Diaz as well. All right, sports, speaking of volleyball, is coming up next, but first, here is your island weather.
Smartphone Super Sale event. Enjoy huge savings on our most popular Samsung Galaxy smartphones. But this offer won't last long. So drop into a GTA store today.
In this divided world, there are still things that unite us. Great music, thrilling games, and the love for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam, for the love of burgers menu. For a limited time, get an amazing burger for just $11.99. Lunchtime at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
We're celebrating our 135th anniversary today, both in the outlying regions on which we hub and also here in Guam itself. It means so much to our team here in Guam. It means a lot to us in the Matson management team, because what it says is we're here to stay. It's a real physical manifestation of our commitment to this region. It's so important that we hire locally, we develop talent locally, we train locally. What's been a wonderful addition to our approach there is that many of the people who started off in Guam have gone off into significant leadership roles elsewhere in the company.
This is our headquarters here in Guam in Micronesia. And when we talk about putting down our roots, it's not just doing business, it's about everything we do with our friends, our customers, and our employees. I believe that nobody can replicate what we do, and that's why we have such a great team and such a great service and why we're successful. This is our home, this is our life, and we're happy to make a difference in everyone else's life.
Our mighty SUV mega sale is going on now at Cars Plus, and you're going to save big with cash back on every purchase. Get to Cars Plus and shop our great selection of Hyundai Santa Fe's, Tucsons, and the all-new Kona, Guam's most affordable SUV. Or our full line of Jeeps, like a new Jeep Renegade, save $6,000, or a new Jeep Cherokee, save $4,500, with rates as low as 1.99% APR for qualified buyers. It's Cars Plus, mighty SUV mega sale. Cars Plus, driven by you.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports, brought to you by Triple J. We get the show started tonight with girls high school soccer from the Leo Palace Field as the Notre Dame Royals look to keep their perfect record intact against the GW Geckos. Check it out. The Lady Royals didn't want to make their meeting with GW any closer than they had to late yesterday afternoon at the Leo Palace Field. ND and GW, two of the top teams in this year's IIAG girls high school soccer season. Notre Dame scored the first goal of the contest a minute into the game, courtesy of Lauren Phillips. Teammate Brianne Leon Guerrero added to the lead 4 minutes later to give the Royals a 2-0 lead. Cheyenne Roberto scored in the 8th minute of play to keep things rolling for the defending IIAG champions. Abby Sengill made it 4-0 in favor of ND at the 27th minute mark. Alicia Perez found the back of the net 6 minutes later, while Sengill added another goal before the first half came to an end, putting the Royals up 6-0 at halftime. Sedera Aguilar and Brianne Leon Guerrero kicked through the final two scores for ND in the second half for number 7 and 8. GW wouldn't get shut out, though. Helena Garcia made sure of that. She scored 2 late goals for the Geckos in the 8-2 loss. ND continues to ride an undefeated streak dating back a few years and seeking their 3rd consecutive girls high school soccer championship title. Guam National Tennis Federation is hosting a world-class tennis exhibition match May 10th at the Hilton from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $10 in advance and $20 at the event. You can purchase tickets at mobile gas stations, Jigo North, Isang Song, Liguan, Airport, Mangilao, Isagana, and Adaloop. You can also buy tickets at Goody Sporting Goods and the Nike store at GPO. All proceeds will help fund a new tennis center. Fans can catch Dominic Hirabati take on Tommy Haas. Dominic's highest world ranking was at number 12. Tommy was once ranked number 2 in the world. Turning over to some youth basketball news, the Guam Youth Basketball Association 2018 Drug and Alcohol-Free Youth Basketball League is accepting teams for the upcoming summer season. Age groups are 8 to 18 years old, co-ed divisions for U8, U10, and U12. Girls divisions, U15 and U18. Boys divisions, U14, U16, and U18. The league is looking to start around June 9th. For more information, call Pascual Artero at 486-4858. The University of Guam men's soccer team defeated the Anderson Bombers 2-0 in the GFA Budweiser Premier League at the Guam Football National Training Center. The win marks the 4th win in a row for the Tritons. With the win, the Tritons clinched 3rd place in the Premier League going into the playoffs, which start May 11th and 12th. UOG plays the number 6 team in the league in the opening round of the playoffs. Jaquez Diambra scored both goals for UOG in the win. Sean Evans played a solid match as goalkeeper for the Tritons. UOG is now 12-2-1 on the season. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Every time I travel, there's something from home that I can't leave without. I take my Docomo Pacific Data to Go to share my stories in Taiwan, check subway routes in Tokyo, be my food guide in Hong Kong, meet new friends in the Philippines, make updates in the States, find my way around Korea, and check out all the cool shows in Singapore. It's the data I have in all the places I love for only $10 a day. Data to Go from Docomo Pacific. Better together.
In this divided world, there are still things that unite us. Great music, thrilling games, and the love for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam, for the love of burgers menu. For a limited time, get an amazing burger for just $11.99. Lunchtime at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Summer's right around the corner, but first shifting to spring with Triple J. With 0 down, 1.9% financing, and easy trade-in, now is the time to buy. Get into our big boy truck, the Ford F-150, starting at $217 per paycheck. Car and drivers, 10 best, Mazda CX-9 at $242 per paycheck. The Mazda 3 sedan at only $137 per paycheck. Or the North American Car of the Year, the 2018 Honda Accord at only $216 per paycheck. Visit us online at triplejguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J Auto Group, customers first.
All right, before we put the show in the history books, I got some questions for you, partner. Do you like to smile?
Yeah.
Do you like cake?
Of course.
Do you like making people happy?
Of course.
Then you, like many people, are going to like tonight's birthday shoutouts. Half a day to the following new members of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Happy birthday number 2 to Isaiah Ekfaji. We love you, Zeze. Say mommy, daddy, brother, and sissy. Happy sweet 16 to Kobe. This comes from your mom, your dad, Frankie, Jacob, and your entire family. And happy birthday tonight to Kent J. Regis. Hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful birthday.
What about you? Do you like to smile?
Oh, yes.
Do you like to laugh?
Yes.
Well, then you are definitely going to laugh when you watch In the Mix next.
Ooh.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. In the Mix is presented by California Pizza Kitchen. Visit them today at the Holiday Resort Hotel.
Half a day, everybody. I'm Sabrina Salas Matanani, and welcome to another episode of In the Mix. Over the past couple of months, I've been doing some super secret stuff, but the cat's out of the bag. I graduated from the FBI Citizens Academy. What?